Hey guys, welcome back to Puffalauda. So, we're going to answer the big question of the day. Did he die via suffocation, freefall, or strangulation? Here we go. Forgive me, but I do believe I've figured out what was the real cause of death. Free falling. Okay. The victim fell from a great height and subsequently died as a result. In other words, the real cause of death is free falling to the ground. He fell to his death? Yes, this is the only plausible possibility. The victim has extensive bruising on the back of his head and his back. The back of his head and his back. And the only rational explanation for these injuries is that he fell to his death. But the murder happened inside this plane. I know. Are you claiming that there is someplace in this plane from which he could have fallen from? As I said earlier, the answer has been right in front of us the entire time. You can't mean... Yes, I do. The victim fell from the top of the stairs of this very cargo hold. What? Then... We're in trouble! We may have a second death on our hands, sirs! Ah! Hey, you! Tell me you aren't dead, pal! Quiet! Why are you screaming? He's alive! He's alive! What? And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. It's not possible that Agent Hicks fell over the railing to his death. That man is living proof of that. I suppose it's true that it's not possible, given the current circumstances. The current circumstances? What is that supposed to mean? Suppose that large piece of cargo wasn't there at the time. What would have happened then? He would have been a Bourguignon pancake for sure, sir. That sounds delicious, actually. I love pancakes. I suppose that man over there wouldn't still be breathing. But the reality is that the cargo box is there. So there's no point entertaining your wild hypothetical scenarios. It may be there now, but there was no proof that it was always there. Ha! As if there could have been a window of time when that giant box was not there. Ah, but there was. What? What can I use to show her that it's possible that the box was not always where it is now? Let's see. We're doing refueling in Zhengfa, because it did refuel at some point, so stuff could have been moved, because cargo was transferred and whatever. Take that! Take that! You refueled in the Republic of Zhengfa? Yes, this flight has a short layover in Zhengfa in order to refuel. But that wasn't the only reason for the layover. We also transferred some cargo. What if the box in question was only transferred onto the plane at that time? To further prove my point, let's take a look at what's next to the box in question. Ah! Oh, whoops, that's the wrong person. It's labeled Zhengfa Express! In Chinese, too, wow. Correct, meaning it was only loaded onto the plane in Zhengfa, or it was loaded onto the plane, not only, but nice. Added that to the thing. Now, what if the box in question was also loaded on at the same time? It would mean that the box was not here in the cargo hold during the Europe-Zhengfly leg of the flight. Zhengfly. Making a clear drop from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death entirely possible. Ah, but your theory is still very far-fetched. Then allow me the chance to prove how very likely my scenario is. My first order of business will be to examine that piece of cargo in more detail. Well, let's go check it out. Woohoo! Get out of my way. Let's take a look. This is a rather large piece of cargo. There's a tag on it, sir. Let's see. Alif Red Statue? Never heard of it. Nor I, but all I care about is if we could provide it, if we can prove it wasn't here at the time of the crime. Then let's get investigating, sir. Oh, wow, he's speedy.
Look here! Do not go about touching my possessions without my permission! Ah! Don't rush up on me like that, pal!
So this belongs to Mr. Lablanc, does it? I should see what else I can find out from him. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to take a sip of water and clear my throat for a second. Okay, I'm ready. Here we go.
Look here! Do not...
I already said this! I was supposed to have to first appease Mr. Lablanc if I want to examine this in more detail. Oh, I accidentally clicked on the wrong thing. Mr. Lablanc. Lablanc's cargo. I take it that this large piece of cargo belongs to you, Mr. Lablanc?
Of course it is mine! I shipped this fine piece of art from Europe! This Alif Red statue is worth 10 million cents! No, maybe much, much more!
Mr. Lablanc's reason for choosing this plane must have been the large cargo hold. 10 million cents? I suggest you stop trying to calculate how many packets of noodles that makes, detective.
Darn, how did you do that? I feel like you keep getting better and better at seeing right through me every year.
I grow with each revolution of the planet around the sun. I have the distinct impression he continues to madly spin in place.
Oh, hey, Mr. Edgeworth. So, that 10 million cents, is that in euros or in dollars?
Does it really make a difference to our case? Mr. Lablanc, there is a chance that your cargo is related to our murder case. I was wondering if you would allow us to examine it a bit closer.
It is a very valuable piece of art, so no! There will be no touching!
We don't have to touch it, we just want to look at it. Okay. Well. I guess we can use logic. Smuggling and valuable. Oh no. What if it's a fake? If Mr. Lablanc has something to do with a smuggling ring, then it's possible that this is a fake statue that was brought on board in Jungfa. I think I need to question him a bit further. Hello. Fake statue. About your statue, Mr. Lablanc. I wonder if it might be a fake.
What? How dare you say my art is fake?
I suspect that your statue might be the target of an international smuggling ring.
Don't say such fantastical things! Those thieves would not dare! I have the certification of my cargo right here!
I had to do the slaps. Do you mean the cargo certification document? I keep getting her voice and Miss Tanira's voice mixed up, so I need to make her accent even crazier. So, do you mean the cargo certification document?
Mr. Zinc Lablanc, why didn't you say so earlier? Please show us this at once.
Airway bill.
I can't read this. What does it say? It says plain as day the cargo was put onto the plane in Europe.
And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. Too bad for you. This statue was brought on board in Europe, just as it states in the certificate.
No, that's
Which means that there never was a window of time in which the statue wasn't sitting there. I don't know what her accent is either. I'm just trying to differentiate. I respectfully disagree. We can't discount the theory until I see the statue for myself.
Then you can have your wish. Look at it yourself and see that I am right.
Dang, he just whipped off the frickin' cloth.
This, I know I've seen this somewhere before. This is the alley thread. It gives us such a feeling of art. I can practically smell it. This statue has a high amount of historic value. After it was unveiled at the museum in Europe, I brought it to this country to exhibit it.
Okay. I believe a closer look is warranted here. So, if you guys don't remember, let's take a look at Mr. Hicks. So he has the same statue in his photograph And when you look at that one, do you see a difference? I'm about to point it out. So this is the famous Leaf Red statue.
What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Did you find something?
There's something wrong with this picture. We should examine it in more detail. Okay, this is very difficult to aim. I hope that's good enough. Deduce. Is this spot connected to any evidence I hold? Yes, it is. Eureka! These eyes are awfully orange, don't you think?
Yeah, and pretty. They remind me of sunsets when I was in grade school, sir.
I don't think you see what I'm talking about.
No, I do, but it's really like the color of the sun when it's setting, sir. Ah, the memories. I remember standing out in that field, spinning with my arms until I felt ill.
I don't care about sunsets. Focus, detective. What color are the eyes in this photo?
Huh? Ah, sir, they're red!
As I thought, the statue is a fake. Mr. Lablanc.
What do you want? Do you not see I'm a busy man? I allow you 2 seconds for your answer.
The Ali Fred, I suppose this is your pride and joy, is it not?
It is the biggest trophy in this European trip. Do you know why I wanted to possess this statue? The trigger started 17 years ago. Better grab a chair, sir. Sounds like this is going to be a long story.
Mr. LeBlanc, I regret to inform you, and you have my heartfelt sympathy, but...
What is that sympathy? For what?
You'll see. I'd like you to compare the eyes.
That large fellow there has very bright and pretty eyes compared to you.
He's hitting on Gumshoe! I wasn't talking about the two of us. I meant the eyes of the statue in front of us and the one in this photo.
Why the sudden yelling? Now that... Oh! It is a photo of the statue on display at the museum in Europe. No!
Now do you see, Mr. LeBlanc? The statue before us is a fake.
Oh, fake!
Oh god. I believe that even further examination would be required, now that we have confirmed that this is indeed a fake. There must be some sort of proof that this was brought on board in Zhengfa, and I will present it to you, evidence that will resolve the remaining contradiction. Oh, do I need to back out? No. What? Okay, well, let's take a look and see what we got. Oh, Ali Fred certificate. This one's boarded in Europe. So then... Wait, maybe Oh, we have to go down. Whoops! Where's Y? There we go. Aha! That's a big... That I should have pointed that out first, Jesus. It's on top of the fucking... It's on top of the cloth for the cargo. Here we go. Here we go. There is clearly a contradiction here.
What are you going on about? It's just a simple case of a cargo cover getting stuck under another piece of cargo.
I don't know where her accent went.
Ah! That's not possible!
But it is. It shouldn't be this way, but the statue is on top of the cloth. Supposing that the neighboring piece of cargo was brought on board in Zhengfa, there is no way that any part of it should wind up under something from Europe. Which means that this fake statue was smuggled on board in Zhengfa.
But then what about the cargo certificate?
Let me ask in return, what about Agent Hicks? Why did he come down here in the middle of the flight? There is only one reason why, not rye, like rye bread, whoops, to secure proof of smuggling activity aboard this flight.
So you say, but I don't believe he had to do that mid-flight. We could have just as easily inspected all of the cargo after the plane landed.
That may be true, however, you have it backwards, Francisca. Sure, Agent Hicks could have waited until after the plane had landed, but he had reason for coming down to the cargo hold. Suppose he had found the fake at the airport. It would have been after the swap had occurred. At that time, the suspicion would naturally fall on the statue's owner, who would have no way to prove that the statue was switched without his knowledge. Which means there is someone involved who is forging or modifying cargo certificates. Ooh, snappy, snappy. Yay!
I guess the victim knew the real version of this was gonna get nabbed, huh?
Yes. While this photo could be seen as nothing more than a simple souvenir, it was in fact taken to be used as a reference document later on. Next, Agent Hicks had to secure proof that the smuggling had taken place. He came down here to take a picture of the cargo hold, a rather empty one at that, right before the fake statue could be loaded on board. A photo of the hold missing a valuable piece of cargo would have been proof enough. After that, all he had to do was hold the Jungfa cargo crew and arrest the smuggler. Exactly. This only goes to prove my theory. If the statue was not in the cargo hold during the Jungfa leg of the trip, there would have been enough height from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death. Officer! Move the statue immediately! I want a thorough examination of the floor underneath, now!
Miss Von Karma, I'm ready to report my findings.
Go on.
After moving the Alif Red statue out of the way, we tested the area under it with new luminol, and there was a reaction.
Luminol is a thing that you spray on the wherever you think there's blood, and they'll glow and stuff. Yeah. There we go. I see. There was a reaction to luminol, an indication that there was blood in that spot.
Can we stop looking at it now, sirs?
It would seem that my deductions were correct after all. I suppose it would appear that way. The culprit cleaned the blood up well. And how do you think the killer did that? How did the killer clean up all the blood? La 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 la. The killer used the bloody cloth I found inside the suitcase to clean up the mess. I see. They had a need to clean up all the blood before the plane landed in Jungfa. Yes, because otherwise the cargo crew would have discovered it during the layover.
So you guys are saying that the murder happened before the plane landed in Jungfa?
There's no other conceivable timeline for the events of the murder. But if this is true, then that throws a certain person's testimony into doubt. If the murder occurred right before we landed in Jungfa, then this becomes highly suspect. It's Miss Meal.
Dun dun dun!
Recall Miss Meal's testimony about Agent Hicks in regards to when we departed in Jungfa.
I saw, Mr. Hicks sitting in his seat at 5 a.m., you know.
She claims Agent Hicks was alive at the time of the service calls, but...
That totally contradicts the facts, sir!
But why would she lie about something like that? I think the only person who can answer that is Miss Meal herself. Well, shit is about to go down. So we're gonna stop here. I know it's a little early, but I don't want to spoil that last bit for you guys. So it's gonna be a little bit of a cliffhanger. Next episode, let's fucking talk to Miss Meal and see what her problem is and if she's actually the murderer.